All right, man, we are back. It's time for a little Blue Beetle action, man. So, what do we got?
I thought you almost said blue booby.
The Blue Boobies.
Blue booby. Oh,
2023, PG 13, 2 hours, 7 minutes, action adventure, sci fi. An alien scarab
sure.
chooses Jaime Reyes to be his symbiotic host, bestowing the recent, I'm sorry, bestowing the recent college graduate with a suit of armor that is capable of extraordinary powers, forever challenging his destiny as he becomes a superhero known as Blue Beetle. Y'all really wanted people to know what this was about. God damn. And this is directed by Angel Manuel Sato. So, who the hell is in this movie, Tiff?
Okay, so who we have in this movie is Zolo Mariduena, Adriana Barraza, Damien Alcazar, El Padilla Carrillo, Bruno Marquezine, Raul Max Trujillo, Susan Sarandon, and George Lopez.
Yeah, man. Yeah. That's
yeah.
Oh, did you say Susan Sarandon?
I did say Susan
I didn't
Sarandon.
hear you say Susan Sarandon.
I was rambling them off.
Okay. So, man, before we go any further, it is time for one. All right.
Okay.
So, Tiff, one word. What do you got for Blue Beetle?
I think that it's uneven isn't the word. Well, a little uneven, yeah. But some things that work in this movie for me, and some things that don't.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it had potential, like a lot of potential, and it didn't achieve some of it.
Okay, all right.
So it's
okay, all right.
What about you?
My one word is triumph.
Wow, you liked it.
I love this movie. I loved
That's
it.
Good.
I literally love this movie. This is the first actual hero in the James Gunn universe, but this is not a movie made by James Gunn. He was and even the last movie that came out in DC, I think it was The Flash, was not a Gunn universe, but
right.
But this was a Gunn. This hero is planning to be here. I mean, even despite that nobody has gone to see this movie, I think that's a big mistake. I love this movie. I had so much fun, and I thought it needed to be exactly what it needed to be. DC has been way too stuffy, or they go way too campy, like with the last Shazam movie. The first Shazam movie worked so good for me. The second one, they just seemed like they were just
it's like they were reverting or something like that.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah,
but this movie actually allowed you to see family dynamics of a different culture that just wasn't a brown family behaving like a white family, which I did not, nobody, I don't want to see that shit. I don't want to see you trying to do your best American. This movie was unapologetic, Hispanic, Latino, and I loved it, man. And I was like, I fell in love with the family. I fell in love with the character. The suit looked dope. It could have looked bad. The suit could have looked bad.
Yeah, I think the suit doesn't look, sometimes that's part of the problem for me, but that's not really okay.
When you know that it's a suit of armor, and that's what it is. It's not a skin tight suit, then I'm fine with it. It was very comic accurate, and I think just when I thought something about this movie was going to get on my nerves, it did a twist, and then they did stuff, and I thought that was going to get on my nerves, but then they did it. They did it really well, and I was just like, I felt so good when this movie was over. Yeah. I was like, damn, that's what I'm talking about. It don't have to be, so like DC wants to be heavier than the fate of the world. They got the girls outside the little shack with with the Aquaman singing a song. Like, what the hell is going on? No, this movie was fun, and it was exactly what I needed when I watched it. I literally had a ball, and I was nervous about this movie just because I figured that I don't know why people wasn't going to see it. I got my suspicions, but there we go. So let's hit those spoilers and let's get into this thing, man. So a lot of the stuff they showed, like some of the jokes they showed in the trailer, which ruined some of them, but then some of the jokes they didn't. I like when a young man was coming home from college. First of all, I like that he was like a college graduate and he wasn't like some struggling kid with some attitude and, being poor is just, it wasn't the thing. He didn't even know they was poor. He came back from college and they losing the house, not because they were behind with their payments, because they have this fictitious city in DC universe, which is kind of cool because you don't really know where it is, but I assume it was Miami or somewhere in Florida or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they were losing a house because of a big corporation,
Mm-hmm.
as happening now, buying up every goddamn thing, and they had to go. And even though the house to the naked eye wasn't no big deal, their whole history was wrapped up in being in the
Plus,
house.
it's like, when somebody like loves a house versus when somebody owns a house.
Yeah, yeah.
So like, I mean, sometimes those things obviously go together because you have to own it to love it. But some people are just like,
No, no.
I don't know, they seem austere or something like that.
Like, I
But
can't stay in my house. I want to get the hell out of here with my daughter. We grew up in this house. That's bullshit. I'm like, well, y'all can keep this money.
I will say the family in this movie.
Oh my god, I love them.
Is part of my, I wouldn't say problem with this movie exactly. Is that this beginning of this movie is so good. Mm-hmm. It is so wonderful. The family is great. And not in like you said, not only in the not whitewashed kind of way, but also in like a way like not annoying. It was a believable family dynamic.
I thought when it first started, I was like, especially the sister, I was like, she gonna get on my nerves. People gonna get on my nerves, but they didn't. They came right.
Well, because they were representations of real people, which I really appreciated. But what I mean by annoying is like, when you watch a movie and it's the love that's supposed to be represented there between family doesn't really come through because it seems really cloying and like too sweet.
Yeah,
they did a really good job of making a realistic family dynamic. Because that's how families are, and that's how people are, and I like that a lot.
And not only that, they showed a difference of they showed different characters in his family. Like normally Jaime would be like broody, like that type of hero, and then the family would have the annoying little sister who would have been like 12 years old, and it had just been like one of them things, but it wasn't like that. These people liked each other. Not only loved each other, they liked each other. It came off really genuine. And I liked who Jaime was. I liked that he was, he really wasn't, he had a lot of non-flaws. And you meet people, we all got flaws, but none of his, he was a good person. You know what I'm saying? And you didn't have to worry about him being, becoming better than what he used to be. He was just lost. He, went to college and did all this shit and came back and
he wanted to do something nice for his family. Like he only did that because he was like, I was going to come back and like save us from whatever bad things were going to happen. So like he knew that some things weren't. But this is the part. So the great family. I also really loved that not everything was subtitled. There were some things that they'd say
that made it feel so natural. Like
that they were just like, not, you don't. And also that like, the mixture of like English.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm.
And Spanish, and how like people who are bilingual families talk to each other.
Mix it up. Yeah, yeah.
And I just thought this is gonna sound so shitty because I don't necessarily think the superhero half is bad. I almost just wanted to keep watching the family do stuff without a superhero. I wanted to see, I just loved them so much. And then when the superhero stuff happened, they were still doing that family together stuff.
Yeah.
It's a very family positive movie. Like as far as like nobody, like it like the message of the movie is that you're super, but your family is,
But at least for this family, that went for true.
And I think we would talk about chosen families as well as probably what a lot of people would think of.
So we got Susan Sarandon in it, and man, I thought she was bringing it, man. She was a piece of shit, and without going overboard.
She was a piece of garbage.
I mean, it's Susan Sarandon, first of all, and she's good. And like, she was, without being a mustache twirler, but she was still like, I got shafted. It's my company. I'm making weapons, and we got the ultimate weapon. So let's go. And so her being like just evil didn't really even come out to me and toward the end. When you with the flashbacks, I was like, oh, so she's super evil.
Right.
But so we got this set up. We got this Ted Kord's daughter, who was the original Blue Beetle, running around, and she, invites Jaime kind of passively to get rid of him, invite him for a job because he was trying to be chivalrous and he got fired from the job. Comes there, she gives him the belly burger with the scarab, goes home, and it crawls up his cheeks and, gets in there. I'm not a George Lopez fan, but I'm not at all. But the dude was cracking me up in his damn movie. All his crazy antics and stuff. It's very believable to me. Go ahead.
When I watched this and they opened it.
Mhm.
And they're like, that's the only thing they asked you to take out to carry out of there. I was like, it looks really valuable.
Oh, it looked
like
like
even
it was jeweled. I was like,
right. So I was like, that's an understandable thing that someone, because they don't know her, right? Like maybe she's a master thief, like that. You'd be like, holy shit!
Yeah, I would have been like,
I just robbed somebody.
oh shit, what do we do? Do we leave or do
you know what I mean? Obviously, he knew that he was doing something of that kind, but then they're like throwing it around.
Yeah, I was kind of like,
I was like, why?
I was like,
why are we doing that?
Yep, me too.
So okay, so that's when he joins with the Blue Beetle, and what I do like about this superhero, I guess that's his, like the spider bite situation only happens really fast because it's the suit is within the thing. So I liked that the things that were happening were because the suit is calibrating itself.
Yeah, and I'll tell you one thing I really liked about that is that it effed up the house because it foreshadowed the house was toast. When it did that much damage, I was like, oh, this house not gonna make it through this.
I think that also there's like this weird, obviously they're all very sad that they're losing their home.
Yeah.
But that like there's it's the feeling of defeat being represented, and it's really strange, but like it blows through the house twice. That house gets fucked up way before it gets destroyed in the end. Like it gives you a lot of anxiety. You're like, no, take it outside.
So unlike you, I dug all the superhero parts. I liked when the thing was like he was learning how to do cutting the bus in half, flying all over the place, atmosphere. I dug all that stuff, and with them trying to bond. So one of my favorite scenes though is then when they came to like, first of all, this police force with no police, that bothered me. That no cop showed up with all these cord people come down in these like silly helmets and all that stuff. And the silly helmets didn't bother me because I was like, this is very comic booky, and the movie was very comic booky without, going campy. And when they came down and the father had the heart attack and oh my God, I'm just sitting there and I was just like, oh my God, I was so choked up. I was like, oh my God.
This movie betrayed me because I was enjoying the good feeling I was getting from this family situation. I was like, oh, because his dad,
I know.
He's an angel. Like when you watch this fucking movie, it's like epitome good dad with like I'm saying, like it doesn't make you feel like, oh, come on. Like it doesn't have that feeling to it. It's very genuine feeling to it. So you're like watching it and you're like, it's like your dad.
Yeah.
You're like, Dad, no.
Yeah, he was when he was sitting there having a drink and he's like, don't tell your mother and stuff like this. And and
he planted the cactus story.
And just the looks
have you weeping?
This actor had just the
he looked like he just loved them. You guys, I can't help it. He was just the best. He was all of our dads. And when he died, I thought, because I was so sad, this isn't surely this will. They at the end they're gonna see him.
Nah.
And it'll be like, wait, no.
When that happened, Tiff, I'm like, oh,
no.
I'm like, this is his origin story. This is why he becomes who he is.
And you guys, it makes you believe that he is gonna doesn't make it because of he went back for his daughter and I thought he would get shot.
Yeah, no. And
so you get relieved that he didn't get shot. Yeah. They give you that little relief.
Yep.
And then he has a heart attack. Yeah. It's fucking terrible.
And the house is burning up and they capture Jaime and the family is left and stuff and they get away. And then the surprise of the movie, which I couldn't get enough of, was when that grandmama just turned, they always try to play those characters like they're so aloof and don't know what's going on or, and she was so present, the grandmama, the whole time. She was so present. She came out there like, this is time. Is it? Not time to cry. It's time to fight. I'm like, what's all lady talking about? And so then they go find the old, I love when they go to the old mansion and they're in the old Blue Beetle thing. And so bringing in the original Blue Beetle, not ignoring the history from the comics of that character, literally bringing it in, with all the original gadgets. I love that old retro stuff and then the actual Beetle ship and stuff. I was like, oh, this shit is cool. And the Blue Beetle ship looked good. It didn't look like
it did. So here's some of my problems with this movie, and they're not, I would say, minor complaints. I also saw this movie later at night, but here's where the movie starts to feel a little uneven for me.
Okay.
It sometimes toes the line between or it kind of falls on either side, I guess I would say, rather than toes the line. And that makes it a little bit jarring between like a movie that's for more mature children, I guess I would say, like teenagers, and like very childish. Like, there's 2 boner jokes in this film. Which
I don't remember the boner jokes. I remember the fart jokes, but I was like,
yeah, then there's the fart joke, but there's a boner joke where he's like about to kiss her.
oh, and
then when he gets up, he holds his pants down, his area, cover his area. And then the other one was when the machine is talking to him later when they are kissing, and it says, "I feel blood rushing to your blah blah blah."
Yeah.
That doesn't bother me. Here's the thing: it doesn't bother me. Boners don't bother me. And I don't mind a joke. I don't mind a raunchy joke at all. I've seen plenty of raunchier movies in this. But it felt uneven because then there's that fart joke that goes on for a while.
Yeah, the fart joke could have been totally felt out of place to me, and I won't even make an excuse for it. I was like,
but then even some of the weird colors and the way that certain people started acting towards the end was very much like in a kids movie. Like the grandma thing is kind of kids movie-esque.
The grandma
towards the end,
I love though. Even with
I do like it, but it would make
and what I really like is how she wasn't a joke when she was
right.
She knew what she was talking about, and this one thing this movie really did that is lost on people because they're not going to see it is that, you know, we got this border thing going on in this country, and it just blows my mind that people who came over here and stole the damn country is mad that other people was coming to the country when y'all people came to the country, and they talked about their journey from where they started and where they are and things like that, and it's just like, me, I get it. Look, you know, what border? What the hell? You gonna get over here? You gonna put a fence up? What?
Yeah.
It wasn't even yours. You know, go talk to the people on the reservations about what's theirs and what's not. So for me, all that is bullshit to me. And then to actually get a chance to like hear about a journey, and then you see this grandmother who was this revolutionary,
right? Yeah,
and she wasn't no joke.
She is very cool.
Yeah, she wasn't no joke.
100%.
Right.
Yeah, but my favorite part is when she takes her hair down.
Yeah,
in one little pin. It was that was a fantastic scene,
and she played it so good, Tiff, because it wasn't like it was like you waiting for her to like laugh, because she was serious. She was like, look,
she was serious. Yeah, it's very serious.
This shit ain't no joke. I've been here before. You know, y'all listen to me, and they did. You know, they didn't treat her like she was stupid or senile.
Well, I mean, like this whole family is nothing but loving respect, and it's beautiful. But what I appreciated about what I think a lot of people don't. It's really, I don't want to say like a lot of people, but like it's weird how a lot of people don't think about that their family is a mixture of both legal immigrants and illegal immigrants.
They mentioned that in the movie too.
Which is
I was like,
yeah, because I was like, people don't understand like the dynamics of those situations.
Yeah. And then we thought it was a goddamn joke a couple years ago, deporting mamas and daddies and stuff, you know, to other, you know, for 10 years, you know, and it's just like, this shit is really real. And I love that this movie did.
I like that the movie touches on all these things because they're doing that all the time.
Face, you know?
Well, I mean, like, I think that for a lot of people, the easiest way to digest something is by not even realizing they've eaten it.
Yep.
So
that's true.
This movie does a really nice job. And I think that's good in that it's like a mainstream movie. But then I think, is that why? I mean, like, it is not my favorite superhero movie.
Yeah.
It had problems.
Yeah.
I thought it was a little uneven, but that's fine.
Two things.
I'm surprised when I watch it, though.
Go ahead.
That a lot of people haven't seen it, because I feel like that's just because I got different stuff going on and my taste in various things or whatever. But this seems like a movie that a lot of people would enjoy. Yes, I'm confused about why.
Yes, it does, yes, it does.
That, like, I'm confused about why people haven't seen it.
Yes.
Like, it.
Go ahead.
It's just surprising to me, because even though wasn't like excited as excited as you about it, I can tell that it's a movie that a lot of people would enjoy.
People would enjoy this movie. Let me talk about two things too. They had 2 CGI superhero fights, and it didn't seem CGI to me. It was great. I loved
it. Looked good. It did look good
when he was half armored, the villain, and then something. Oh my god! So then they had a second fight, and he's like, when they first showed him, I was like, oh god. But then, like, once he started moving, which is normally the opposite in these movies, once he started moving, it looked good, you know. And so their fight was like good. I was invested in the fight. It wasn't like, oh God, what's the CGI fight? Just please stop. I was vested in it. But what got me is when the Scarab showed Jaime what this villain went through and humanized him right there before he was going to kill him, because Jaime was like, I'm not killing anybody. And then he was like, I'm killing this mama. You know? And it was like, whoa, we don't kill people. You know, the Scarab, changed. Mm-hmm. And showing this dude as a kid and his parents getting blown up, and the ultimate villain was the Susan Sarandon character. Mm-hmm. I was like, ooh, that's when I was like, ooh, she evil for real. She's super evil. She's out just snatching kids and shit and soldierizing them and all kind of stuff. And so when she got drug off into the explosion, I wasn't mad. I was like,
yeah, it was it was like the correct ending. And like, he said he took himself in there too, because he was like, okay. And so it was, and it made sense a little bit because they're synced and they're whatever. And what I really liked about it wasn't even just that part, which I was like, but like, he also sort of understood Jaime.
Yeah.
Because he was no longer violent towards him.
Yeah.
They like shared, you know what I mean? So like, he was like, I know what I have to do.
Yeah, well, knowing that his father died and he thought his uncle had died and the kid was going to kill him, and he was able to see him reason his way through it, changed that guy in that moment, for a moment, because he still drugged a woman off to her death, But so everything is, the uncle's back, they take off, and then they have this little thing with their outside the house. Now, what I thought was going to happen was that the Cord girl was going to donate the house to the family, like I said, because their house burnt up. And so, they got a house. He need the Beetle there, if he the Beetle, what I'm saying? He needs to go there. But that's not what happened. She came and she, stopped the stuff and got them together financial, as she should have. They risked their whole life to help her and shit, and some on the side. But then we get the kiss and stuff, which was going to happen a couple times. And, he takes off with her, which I thought was cool, because he was kind of cool at that point when he was like, I can take that to your thing, like lead a sweet motorcycle. And he takes off. I enjoyed the shit out of this movie, man. I really did. And, the last superhero movie I really, really, really enjoyed was Guardians of the Galaxy. And there's been other ones that has come out that's just been like, okay, no big deal, but I didn't.
Yeah.
And DC, I enjoyed the shit out of this.
So you're feeling hopeful for this?
Yeah,
transition.
Like, again, this is not a James Gunn movie, but this is a blessed James Gunn character that's going to be in these movies. And I dig it. The last one that came out with The Flash, and everybody like, oh shit, this universe is dead. As it should die. Those heroes, those peoples, those actors, everything. I think Wonder Woman is surviving, though. I saw something recently like that. Gal Gadot is going to make it.
I heard that too.
Which the second movie sucked ass. The first movie was great. If you get more of that, then you're good. And please,
I liked her. I like her appearance in the Flash movie is one of the only good parts about it.
Yeah, but
Michael Keaton.
Yeah, Michael Keaton was the best thing about that. Goddamn!
Thank you.
That makes the movie worth watching to me.
I want to buy it, but it's called the Tiffany cut, where they just cut out every other parts involving Michael Keaton.
It just came on HBO Max last night. So
you fast. My brother once said, "Yeah, you can always fast forward."
Yeah, that's how I watch Pulp Fiction, because I'm not a diehard Pulp Fiction. I watch the scenes I like. I'm like, that's a great movie now. All that slow shit with Bruce Willis and all that other stuff gone. Anyway, so no, man, a triumph. I love this movie. It did have its problems, but come on, the problems to me were not even worth, to me, the problems were like, whatever, man. It was like, it was forgivable. And I enjoyed this family and this main character and the villain so much. Both of the villains, because even the goon, he was a menacing cat, and then they gave him, they turned a 2-dimensional character, which is very 2-dimensional, into a 3-dimensional character in one flashback. And I was like, God damn, good. I'm glad y'all did that, to show that, they make people stormtroopers and put even, masks on them. And even some of those guys with the masks at the fortress, they showed them with the see-through, showing that they were human beings too. And I was like, that's interesting. But they effed up. They killed a lot of those dudes.
They did.
I was like, oh shit. People get
Jaime might not be killing people, but everybody else is.
Grandma had that.
Grandma killed a bunch of people.
I was like, ooh, well, okay, let's keep it real. People died in this universe. Hell, the Suicide Squad was rated R.
Did.
So I enjoyed it. So anyway, man, that's my take. That's Tiff's take. That's what you got. I recommend you go see this movie. I don't know why people are not seeing this movie.
Yeah, I would. You know what? If you like superhero movies, I don't see why you wouldn't see it.
Yeah, if you don't like superhero movies, stay away from it. You know.
Yeah, if you don't like superhero movies, yeah, of course.
There you go. So that's it. And that's all. Tiff, we can't do the damn thing. We got it done. I'm the host of Fans on Patrol. My name is Montego. We are done with episode 437, I believe. So,
yes, correct.
There we go. And until next week, we're coming. I don't know what the hell we're doing next week. I got to figure it out. So anyway. We got to see what's out on maybe a lot of stuff out on streaming. I know that Dracula movie came out. That the meter thing came out. You know, it's a few things that came out.
Dracula.
So I'm the host of Fans of Patrol. My name is Montego. With me is my wonderful co-host. Say goodbye to the people, Tiff.
It's been a pleasure as always.
And until next week, man, we will be on patrol.
Patrol. Woo!